morning, lovely people, or afternoon, or evening, or midnight, because you're watching in bed before you go to sleep. All are approved watching times. At the end of last year, 2025, I announced that I was going to be doing a community project, something where you guys can send in pieces and I will make a larger overall art piece out of it. A few friends of mine have done community projects like this, and it's always been just a delightful way to engage with the community, and we've always seen just a lot of excitement from viewers, from the people who watch our videos. The puppy is just laying here, being dramatic and whining at me. There always seems to be a lot of excitement from you guys when it comes to sending in a piece and getting to contribute to an overall project like this. So I wanted to give a little update for that and actually put all the information in a video. It was just kind of in the middle of a larger video last time, and then I did make a community post about it. But I keep getting questions because I know I didn't ever provide one clear spot. So I thought we'd give an update because it's been 6 months, and the storage thing I've been putting all the pieces in, which is this, is getting overcrowded. So it feels like time to go through all of these pieces and start organizing them in a new way. And I also have a better idea of timeline now. I wanted to give a lot of time for this because it is specifically embroidery, although it doesn't have to be embroidery, which we'll get to in a minute, but that's a very slow art form. So I was just kind of leaving it open-ended as far as time. I'm now pretty sure that I'm going to be working on this project during my downtime at the end of the year, start of the next year. So my timeline now is I'm gonna say, if you put a piece in the mail before the end of 2026, then it should still be able to be included. You have all the way until the end of this year of 2026 if you would like to send a piece in. That's another 6 months, so hopefully that's enough time. So what are we making? I feel like I have a list of questions I'm trying to answer in my head, but I'm gonna do them totally randomly and out of order. The goal is probably a ball gown sort of thing. Some very giant patchwork skirt with all of the patches that you guys have sent in that skirt. Now, based on what I've gotten and how much more I get, that may evolve into some other stuff. The bodice itself might also have pieces included on it. I might make a little capelet to go with it. I might make a purse because some of the pieces that I've gotten I think would do well with some sort of more structured thing. I don't really know. The idea overall is it's going to be a ball gown of some kind with everybody's pieces included, but the other garments and accessories that go with it are still kind of up in the air, and I won't really be able to finalize that decision until the submission period is closed and I'm actually doing a design. I'm gonna have to lay everything out and see what I have, and slightly daunted by this. Only slightly. She under-exaggerates. But I'm also very excited about it. So that was timeline. That was what are we making? Next question, what are you sending in? I have asked y'all to send in essentially squares or patches. I don't really want to say patches though, because that brings to mind little patches you would stick on a backpack. It's going to be a patchworked piece. So I've asked that you guys send in squares to go in that patchwork, either 2 by 2 inches or 4 by 4 inches with seam allowance. And I'll put my little graphic up, which also has centimeter measurements for those of you who have a normal measurement system. The important thing here is that whatever you want to be seen in your square is inside that 2 by 2 or 4 by 4 square, and that there is enough seam allowance for me to use. There can be more. You can just send me a chunk of fabric with the piece in the center. That doesn't matter if there's more, but I need at least a 1/2 inch, or I think a 1/2 inch is about 1 centimeter of seam allowance around the edges so that I'll be able to actually use the piece. It's also fairly important that whatever you send in is non-stretch or stabilized. So mostly what I've gotten is on non-stretch fabric. But if you are stitching on stretch fabric, or if you are making something that has stretch to it, it just needs to be stabilized in some way before you send it to me. But this brings me to the, I think the most important question. What exactly am I asking for you to send in? Originally I said embroidery. I started as an embroidery artist. I love embroidery, and I very much want to trick a bunch of people into trying embroidery, which I've succeeded in doing. So ulterior motive to this entire project was 100% convincing a bunch of people to try embroidery for the first time. However, I've also gotten a lot of questions about this, so let me clear all of that up. Can I send in cross-stitch? Yes, absolutely, a bunch of people already have. And the stuff that's on Aida is what makes me say that maybe I'll make like a purse or something to go with it. I don't know, it kind of depends. Aida can really vary quite a lot. Some of it is really stiff, some of it is more normal. Some people have cut out the square of Aida and mounted it on like a plain cotton, which I could also do later on as well. So there's options there. But yes, absolutely, cross stitches 100%. A-okay. People have asked if they can send in machine embroidery. Again, absolutely, please do. Machine embroidery is still an art form, and it is still a skill, and I would still be very excited to see your version of it. So any form of embroidery, beadwork, goldwork, like, not that I'm saying send those in, but like stuff that has raised texture is totally fine. There's been some really interesting submissions so far that have a lot of raised texture to them. All totally fine. Any form of embroidery, go for it. Non-embroidery. People have asked, can I send you a crochet square? Yes, but. That's where I get into that whole, crochet has stretch to it, so I can't take like an actual just plain crochet square and sew it into this gown because it'll be weird, it'll pucker oddly. But if you can take a piece of crochet and mount it to a piece of fabric, abso-freaking-lutely. In fact, that would look incredible. So anything like that, anything that you can make, whether it's, I think somebody's done tatting already, lace making, like anything like that, that you can mount onto a piece of fabric within that 2x2 or 4x4 size requirement, go for it. And then other people have asked, what about just like non-embroidered, none of that kind of stuff? Can I send in like painting on fabric, drawing on fabric? Yes, absolutely. And some people already have. I've already gotten some, well, I think somebody did ice dyeing and then embroidered over it. And then I've also gotten some drawing on fabric. Totally, absolutely, please do. When it comes to that stuff, I would just say, keep in mind the washableness of it. Like, this is going to be an art piece. I'm never going to throw it in the washing machine, but I might have to get it wet at some point. I might have to hand wash it in a bathtub kind of thing. So if you're going to draw on fabric, anything like that, paint on fabric, then I would just ask that you consider what's going to happen when that piece gets wet. There's tons of like permanent markers that, I mean, even like a Sharpie, I'm pretty sure you can draw on fabric and it'll never come out. But yeah, there's fabric paint, there's fabric markers, there's all sorts of stuff. There's like dyeing, ice dyeing, doing any form of dyeing. If you want to do that and just send me a sample that is just dyed in some way. Yeah, absolutely. Basically, I just want this to be an expression of your creativity and an opportunity for you to make a thing and be a part of a bigger project. Whatever your form of making is, if you can find some way for that to fit within the size requirements on a piece of fabric that has seam allowance, absolutely go for it. Like, the more creative, the better. And like, my overall image of this gown is that you could just never stop looking at the skirt because there's going to be just endless little details everywhere. And the more surprising those details are, the better. I mean, in the realm of stuff that I've already gotten, we have such variety. There's, you know, absolutely beautiful embroidery, and there's absolutely adorable embroidery, and there's just silly embroidery, and that's not to say that the silly stuff isn't beautiful, but you know what I mean. Like, there's flowers and butterflies and birds, and then there's like a goat eating a sock. And I love every single bit of it. So that was timeline. What are we making? What are you guys making? The address to send all of this, my P.O. box, is in the description of every single video on the main channel. I'll put it in the description of this video as well. People have asked who they should address it to. You can say Charlie Nebe, like the title of this channel, but also people have been writing the Stitchery, people have been writing Charlie at the Stitchery. I think the people at my P.O. box have clued in that all of this means it's for me. There was some slight confusion at the beginning where they were like, this isn't even your legal name. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna need y'all to deal with that. And they did. Good for them. Where are my croissants? So far there's been quite a variety of envelopes, but some people have been able to send it literally in like a thank you note sized envelope, which was my goal here. I know especially for international, like shipping right now is a mess, but I want this to be as cheap for you, as inexpensive as possible to ship in. So definitely check with the requirements of your country, of wherever you are. And like if you're doing anything with like raised texture or anything that has weight to it, that might change things up. But a lot of people who have sent like really flat, just little 2x2 samples have been able to stick it in the middle of like a thank you card kind of note card size and mail it that way, which is perfect. Whatever works for you is great, but I did just want to make it as inexpensive as possible. Oh my god, I didn't start a timer. My croissants! Oh lordy. I woke up so hungry today because I wasn't hungry last night, so I had a really small dinner. So I made croissants. Yay. Well, now I've lost all track of where we were. Oh yeah, last thing. I have also been doing like opening videos about every month-ish or so, and those go up over on Patreon. So I just take the pile, like this was the last one right here, which is up today on Patreon. I just make little very casual videos of opening all of the pieces so that if you sent one in, you can see me opening it, or if you just want to follow along and see everybody's artwork. They're very, very chill, casual videos. Patreon is free. It is a pay-what-you-want model, so it's free. I don't think you even have to actually sign up or like make an account on Patreon just to watch them. I don't quote me on that. I still have not fully wrapped myself around how Patreon works. But that link is also in the description if you want to just chill. I think there's like 5 now opening videos on there if you need something to just like body double with, or if you want to see everybody's artwork. I'm pretty sure that is all the information that I needed to share about this. So at this point, these will not fit in the storage box that I've been using so far. So I thought this would be a good time to lay everything out and start organizing it in a new way. So far, I've been very much like keeping everybody's piece with the note that they gave, and like, I don't know, like I've been having trouble disconnecting the piece from the person who sent it. Although when I get all of these, I take a photo of every single one and then I label them with the person's name and last initial. So like everything is kind of cataloged on my computer as far as like who sent everything in, but like eventually in order to make the piece, I have to just take all of this artwork and put it into the piece. I can't like keep it forever with the notes. Some people have included their name as part of their design or have signed the back of their piece, which like feel free, absolutely feel free to do that. But yeah, it's kind of a weird feeling for me, and this whole thing has been very interesting for me because actually I'm not really very good at getting gifts. It gives me strange feelings. So sudden and new? Not sudden or new. This has been my entire life. But yeah, the whole thing has been a very interesting experience. And now I'm at that point where it's like, okay, I need to start like separating things into size or potentially into color. Yeah. Can you tell that I have lots of feelings about this? And most of them are just, oh my god, I'm so honored and grateful that so many people have sent in their artwork, their very first embroidered piece. Y'all, there's so many first pieces in here, which is just, it is such an honor to have somebody's first attempt at a new skill or a new craft. Like, That means so much to me. It quite frankly means just as much to me as getting somebody's extremely detailed, absolutely beautiful piece of embroidery, which we have a bunch of those as well. Like, there's just so much creativity and it's so cool to see and I'm so incredibly grateful. And I just want to make sure that I do justice to everybody's time and effort that they put into this. Okay, let me stop spiraling about that. Let's spread out all the pieces we've gotten so far and see what we got. I know this box doesn't look very big, but you know, it's all flat artwork, so there is so much in here. I think for now I'm going to organize by size, the pieces that could or should be 2x2 versus the pieces that could or should be 4x4. Are we here to inspect again? You've been so sniffy lately. Hi. Are you claiming that one? It's his now. I'm sure there are so many unique smells in this pile. He gets very sniffy every single time I'm opening stuff. Hello. Mwah. Are you gonna keep standing right in the center? This is actually gonna take a while, so let's do a time lapse. Y'all, I don't use music on this channel and I don't really feel like digging up something royalty free, but also it would be kind of weird if this was just silent for a really long time, so should I just like hum a little something? Sing a little ditty? Can you hear the puppy shaking in the background? Is it over yet? Is it done? We love a time lapse, but then it's just always silent. It's so silent, and then you have to go find music to go under the time lapse because otherwise it's just dead air. Whoo! Y'all. Hello! Have you been summoned? It honestly makes me a little emotional seeing all of these laid out. Cause like, look at the creativity. No, don't walk on them. No. Can you go around? Oh my goodness, we don't grasp the concept of going around. What's over here? Can you come over here? Can you come all the way around this way? There we go. So much creativity, as I was saying. So much work and so much skill and so much effort. It just means so much that you guys would send all of these to me, that you guys would trust me to put your artwork together into something that will hopefully be really, really cool. And there's so many specific details in all of this. A lot of you have shared with me, you know, your meaning behind the piece, where the fabric came from. Like, a lot of these have very specific meaning to the person who stitched them, or to me, or to the relation between the two of us. And that just makes it all the more special. I just love every single piece here. Like, I love if it's a silly little something that just brings you joy, and I love if it is a meaningful something that was stitched in grief. Some of these were stitched with some grief behind them, some with some anger behind them, and like, I don't know, it just... I feel like I cannot fully and accurately put into words how meaningful it is. Please keep making art. Please keep doing craft. And if you want to send a piece to join all of these and end up on whatever the final ball gown will be, you got until the end of the year to do so. Okay, last thing. I want to count how many I have so far. I think I need to put them in stacks of 10 though, because I keep losing track when I try to just count them. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 47. 147 pieces so far. Hi, what do you think of that? Squish, squish, squish. And very loud yard work has just started. Massive thank yous to each and every one of you. You're so creative, and I'm so honored, and I can't wait to see any new pieces that come in. This has been a community project update. Bye!